So, this first lesson about phrasing has to do with where we begin our phrases. There's 3 points where we could begin a phrase. I mean, there's many, many more points, but just in a general way, I want you to think about 3 places where you could begin a musical phrase. One is right on the beat at the top of, the chord progression or at the top of the cycle if you're playing something that repeats. We can also start our phrases a little early and pick up into, so we begin our melody idea before the downbeat. Or we can also wait until after the downbeat and then begin a melodic phrase. And each one of these places is going to have a different kind of emotional effect on the listener. For some people, hearing the notes pick up before the chord progression, before the top of the chordal phrase, so to speak, can feel more confident or more urgent. There's something that I need to tell you, and I just can't wait. And waiting until after the downbeat can feel a little more pensive or laid back. I mean, you can decide how it feels to you. And then starting right on the beat is just a very normal place to play. So I'm talking about this a little bit in the abstract. Let me show you what I mean, and you can hear what it sounds like and also feel what it sounds like. So I've got a chord progression that I've made a loop. I've got a little looper pedal, so I've made a loop to play over. And the chords are D, B minor, G, E minor. So, something like this. Well, just one measure of each chord. So what I'm going to start by doing, I'll let the chords go by one time, and then I'll play starting right at the top of that 4-bar phrase, and I'll play and I'll let it go by a couple of times and play just that way. And then I'll stop and I'll do the same thing again, but starting early, and then I'll stop and I'll start again, doing it late, and you can see what that sounds and feels like, okay? So here we go. I'll let it go by one time. That's D, B minor, G, E minor, right on it. Here's again the top of the phrase. One more time, right on the top. So you can play anything you want, just the only focus is the beginning of the phrase. As this course goes on, we'll talk about other ways to think about phrasing. But for this chapter, this is simply, we're talking about where we start. So now I'm going to, again, let the loop start. I'll let it go by one time, but I'm going to play into that first D chord. Again. So I noticed for myself that those pickups actually got me feeling a little more excitement. And so even on the back half, when I wasn't thinking so much about playing into anything, I was just already, my heart was beating a little faster. So I tended to play more notes, faster rhythms, not just long sustained things, but more action, because starting the phrase that way made me feel that way and made me want to do more of that. So now I'm going to, again, let the loop go by one time. And then after it starts, I'm going to be more reactive, let the chords go by and kind of respond to them. So here comes the top 3. One more time. I'll wait even longer. So I earlier described how those things feel to me, and also words that I've heard some of my students use to describe how those different kinds of phrasings make them feel. Think about how it feels to you. You don't have to use my words. It's actually better if you use your own sense of what that stuff sounds like and feels like. So you will have this loop to play over as part of the course. I'd also recommend that you make your own loops. It's, first of all, then it gives you a chance to make the kind of chord loop that you like to play over, or that you might want to work on, or something that's a real life chord progression from a gig that you've got. It's also great practice for you for getting a good sound, getting your chords sounding good, feeling good, getting your groove together. So I would recommend doing it with some kind of metronome or drum loop or something playing while you make your loop. You don't have to record that part, but it keeps you steady while you're making the loop. And then when it plays back, it's going to feel good. So check it out. And that's the end of this first chapter.